Krásny dobrý deň, tu je Roman Skandinavian Study a ďalšie video z časti, ktoré pre vás pripravujem. Snažím sa predstaviť školy, s ktorými spolupracujeme. A dnes mám pre vás špeciálneho hostia, je ním pán Alessandro z Talianska, zo školy Fine Arts and Design Academy of Syracuse. A Alessandro nehovorí po slovensky, takže preskočíme do angličtiny. Budeme sa vám snažiť vysvetliť viac o študijných programoch, o možnostiach práve na ich školu, keď chcete pôsobiť v oblasti Fine Arts. Alessandro, that was brief introduction in Slovak language, but as I said, you don't speak any Slovak, so we better to conduct it in English. Welcome, and I just said that we will speak about your school, about the things you do for students, and I would be very happy if you could give to our students in Slovakia and Czech Republic some hints why to choose your academy, why to choose to study fine arts, what are the possibilities for their future career, employment, or whatever path they choose. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having invited me. Hello everyone. So something about the school. The school was founded about 26 years ago, so we are young in a way. It's a young school in a way, but not that young in another way. And 6 years ago, I joined the school and I founded the MADE program, which is a different program. And we are, as Roman was saying, we are a Fine Arts and Design Academy. We have 4 different tracks at the moment. We have programs in visual arts. When I say visual arts, I mean photography, video, and graphic design, of course. Then we have a program in design, product design and space design. Product means every kind of product. Space, we work spanning from the private space up to the public space, up to the landscape design. Then we have a program in fashion and textile design with a specific focus on materials and textiles. So we work on styling, but we have, as I was saying, a strong focus on the material. So the material used to make fashion with and textile. And the last program, which is the last one that was launched, is the program in animation and CGI, computer graphic imagery. And then we have programs more, let's say, suited for foreign students. I'm going to talk about them later, foundation year and international year 1. First, I think it could be useful to give just a general picture of the place we are in Siracusa. Siracusa is a medium-sized town. I would say is about 100,000 inhabitants, located in Sicily. Sicily is the biggest island of the Mediterranean Sea. Many of you probably know it, at least they have heard about it. It's in the very center of the Mediterranean Sea on the south of Italy. And Siracusa is a town rich of history because the town used to be the capital of the Magna Graecia. So the Greeks, 2,500 years ago, moved here to Sicily and they founded here in Syracuse their capital. And apart from this, in Sicily, we had passing Phoenix, Greeks, of course, Romans, and Arabs, Normans, French, Spanish. So it's a very rich place. I would define it crossroads of civilization. Here you can find many kinds of works, many times of heritage. Is a very rich place. It's difficult to define Sicily because in the same town, for instance, in Syracuse, you can find leftovers from Greeks, Spanish, from Byzantines, from Arabs, from Normans. It's a sort of a, let's say, an old-style melting pot. Usually we talk about melting pot referring to US, to New York, this kind of, well, Sicily was some 2,000 years ago was a melting pot. So that's why I think it's very interesting to come to Sicily if you like arts, if you are into arts, if you want to go deeper in this kind of studies. And what else can I say? I think another nice thing of Sicily is, you know, the weather. And we are, of course, we are on the sea. The school is just in front of the sea. Is when you open the window, you are in front of the Mediterranean Sea, and there is a good weather at least for 10 months per year. The left 2 months it's a bit hot. You know, we are in the very south of Europe, but anyway, it's nice, and it is not an expensive place compared with other, you know, the more known towns like Milan, Florence, Rome, Venice, which are nice cities. By the way, I come from Milan. I was born in Milan, so I know what I'm talking about. I know Milan. I know I've been living in Rome for many years, so and abroad for many years. And Sicily is quite cheap. It's quite cheap. Very good food, very good places at a reasonable price. So these are some of the advantages of coming here. And
Alessandro, it was wonderful introduction, and I could just let you speak, go on and on. Before we start to speak more about the approach, educational approach, why to choose Syracuse and not Milan, not other cities in Europe, I would just jump a little bit into your professional history, because you are, I would say, someone who understands art, and not because only you like the art, but you had history as a teacher. You was director of museum. If you could speak a bit more about this, your professional career, so students know what kind of capacity will be their tutor or head of the school.
Yes, about me, it's always difficult to talk about yourself, but yes, I have not actually a background in the arts, but I love art. And, you know, I got across art in years, because at the beginning, I started teaching in US university, and I was teaching actually economics, but with my department, we start developing projects with the architecture department. So I start, let's say, in a way, to talk with people involved in architecture and in art. And day by day, I was more and more involved in this kind of projects. And as you were saying, Roman, at a certain point, I decided to come back to Italy. I used to spend almost 12 years abroad, teaching in UK first, and then in United States in New York. And then in 2000, I can't remember exactly, it was maybe 2010, I decided to come back, and I started teaching at the State University in Bergamo, which is an important town next to Milan. And when I was in Bergamo, I started teaching many kinds of programs, and I was offered to become the managing director of the Contemporary Art Museum in Bergamo, the GAMIC. The name of the museum is GAMIC, which stands for, in English, is a Gallery of Modern Contemporary Arts, which is one of the most important European contemporary art museums. So I had the opportunity. I've been the director of the museum for 4 years, and I had the opportunity during these 4 years to of course, to know many artists, to travel around Europe, to organize exhibitions. We had, I think, one of the most important exhibitions organized in Europe about Malevich, Kazimir Malevich, which was a project that took about 1 year. I went several times in St. Petersburg, and because we work with the national museums in order to get the law of the works of Malevich, which is one of the most important artists of the 20th century, 20th century. And so I had the opportunity to develop these kind of exhibitions and to develop a very deep and wide, at the same time, network of artists on one side, and on the other end of art dealers and art institutions. You know, in a way, I got into the world art during these 4 years. Then I've been called from another very important museum, which is even more important, in Venice, in order to become the managing director. But yes, I've been for a short period of time the director of this museum in Venice. Then I decided to move here to Siracusa, and you know, a friend of mine called me. He wanted to retire, and he asked me to come here and to take the direction of the school and to relaunch the school, which was, we can say, it was a bit, you know, still. Mm-hmm. They need to move, make new things, to open to new markets. So that was my objective, and I started doing this 6 years ago. And 6 years after, I can say that we have a totally different kind of school. This is about my background.
Very well, approved. I think so. You are the right man at the right place. Alessandro, you are well-traveled man, and in field of art. If I'm novice, so maybe I'm not saying the correct word, but in field of your industry where your school is operating, you created many contacts abroad or in Italy, and I believe it's advantage for the school, so you can attract maybe as a host teachers or host lecturers, or host artists to have exhibition maybe at your school. I have two questions. What kind of teachers you bring in, or what are the teachers who teach at your school? And what's the approach? You said before it was a bit still. You wanted to create maybe modern style or much vivid?
I start from the first point. We have teachers coming from many places, many different places. We've had teachers coming, of course, from Italy, not only from Sicily, from the north of Italy. We have teachers coming from Europe. I have a strong relationship with the Netherlands. You know, it's personal history. I used to work there. I know many people in the Netherlands. And by the way, if we talk about design, if we talk about even visual arts, the Netherlands nowadays are very progressive, let's say, reality. So, and for instance, the directors of our design program are Italian, but they used to live in the Netherlands for the last 14 years. They are one of the most important, well-known worldwide design practices called Studio Forma Fantasma. So we have people coming from the north of Europe. We have people coming from US teaching here. We have people coming from Israel. We have a strong relationship with Bezalel Academy of Jerusalem, with the Holon Institute. These are all contacts that I gathered during my previous years before coming here. And so in short, I could say that we have an international faculty. And this is the first innovation, if I can say, I brought in when I tried to move the school from his, let's say, stillness. And second innovation is that when I came here, I found a very traditional academy. Traditional academy means that the academy was focused on the typically taught courses in an academy. Yes, in an academy, whilst I wanted to give a more contemporary twist. When I say contemporary, I mean it's not just about having young teachers. Actually, we have many young teachers. Young means they are in their 40s or in their 50s, compared to many schools where you find people in their 60s or sometimes even 70s. I don't know. I do not know in Slovak, for instance, but in Italy or in US, you can teach up to 75 years if you teach in a university. It means I do not, I like even older people, but I think it's better to have a mix. Okay, and this is the first point. The second point, when I talk about a contemporary program, I mean that art has to be strictly connected with the daily life. We can see art in many shapes, in many forms, in many occasions every day. So I like to connect everyday life with art, and that meaning that we work on contemporary issues. We work, for instance, we just had a big program run along with the Northeastern University from Boston. We had 20 students coming over in Syracuse, staying with 20 students from May. So we had a bunch of students, about 40 students, and we went to Lampedusa. Lampedusa is the southern part of Europe, is an island which is closer to Africa than to Italy, although we talk about Italy, and is a point of migration where many migrants arrive with the boats and the ships. So we set up this project very, how can I say, very even tough project. It was very demanding. Okay, I think the right word is demanding, but we stood for 3 weeks in Lampedusa. Then we came back with the American students, and we made an exhibition. We have made a photo exhibition. We made a design exhibitions, and we were published on the most important Italian newspaper. We had the last article was last Friday. We were on the radio. So this is what I mean. Contemporary is to work not just painting. Okay, painting is nice, but to give a meaning to the things that you do, and to get a meaning from what it happens around you. This is I think even the DNA of the school is to try to be part of the reality. Okay, not working in an abstract place, making nice paintings, making nice things that maybe, if you're lucky, will be finally hang on a wall on you don't know where. Is to be part of a story, of the history. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I can feel that you used to be a teacher. You know how to formulate your thoughts in such a lovely way. Alessandro, if we can move now back from the clouds of art and philosophy of education and your approach to basics of those 4 study programs you have there. And at the beginning you said you have even one more, which is foundation year. I believe it's different topics: visual arts, design, fashion, and animation, but they might have common entry requirements if someone considers to send
We
application?
have, yes, in terms of entry requirements, we ask usually, the first thing we ask is for a motivation letter. We do not have, multiple choice tests. I do not believe in multiple choice tests, but this is me. I don't know. It's my point of view. I prefer to receive a motivation letter if the students come from artistic path. I would like to see his or her portfolio. If he or she doesn't have a portfolio because maybe he or she used to study completely different stuff, it would be nice to see some work. When I say some work, I mean maybe there is someone who fancies photography, for instance, or making videos, or drawing, or making something. We just want to, not want to understand, we would like to have something to try, at least to grasp something of the approach of the students in terms of creativity. And then we make an interview. All the students that apply for any kind of program must be interviewed by me or by and by the director of any single program. So these are the three, let's say, entry requirements: a portfolio or some work, if you have it, motivation letter, and lastly, the interview. Okay.
And when you've been talking about this foundation year, you
have foundation year and international year one. There are two different programs. Foundation year is, as the name foundation says, is a program aimed at giving basics of art and even basics of Italian culture, I would say, in terms of language and way of life. I think usually the program is attended by students that want to stay in Italy, maybe for a BA or this kind of program, and to learn Italian and to understand what it means living here, the history of this place. Now, when I say this place, I do not mean only Sicily, I mean Italy, and who want to, to get a deeper understanding of the place in order to not dive into a completely unknown place the day it wants to enroll in a program. Okay, because when you enroll in a program, okay, you are studying, you have to follow the courses, you have to take your exams, but actually you live in a place which is not only the school. So this is the aim of the foundation. And last but not least, the foundation is useful for students that need to catch up with the gap if they do not have 12 years of primary and secondary education. They can get the 12th year here with a foundation year, because as you might know, in Italy, you cannot enroll in a university if you do not have at least 12 years of previous education. So if you have just 11 years of previous education, you can get the foundation year and then you can enroll in a university. Okay.
I believe in Slovakia or Czech Republic, this condition would be met because we have 9 years of elementary schooling and then 4 years, which is in total 13 years of education.
Like Italy, like us, we have 5 years of primary, then we have 3 years of, let's say, intermediate, and then we have 5 more years of high school. So in Italy, it's not a problem, but there are students coming from other countries Sometimes even students come in from countries where you study for 12 or 13 years, but they have a different background in terms of study because maybe they move with their family. So they do not have the 12 years and they can catch up with this program. And it is the foundation year. International is year one, in fact, is the first year of a BA, and is a sort of a mixed program. When I say mixed, I mean that the student comes to Italy in September, and he or she starts studying Italian until November. In November, the student starts studying even our topics, art, design, whatever it is, and in parallel, start studying these topics in English, and in parallel, he keeps on studying language, okay? And this is until the end of the first semester, so end of February. Beginning of March, or mid-March, the students reach the foreign students reach the Italian students, and they merge in a unique class, and he continues studying in Italian. So this is a program that allows to attend the first year of a program, to get the credits, and at the same time to learn a language, okay? So this is the main difference between foundation year and international year one. Foundation year cannot be accounted as part of a BA, and you cannot transfer the credits for a BA. International year one is a BA itself. That means that when you finish with your first year, your first international year, that's why we call it international year one. If you want, you can continue here with the second and the third year of your BA, or if you want, you can even move to another school in Italy or in Europe, entering directly on a second year of a BA program. Okay.
And you took question from my lips, because I wanted to mention that not only you will be learning subjects which you choose, like visual arts, photography, animation, but also you have opportunity to learn Italian language because the mother language, or how to put it, of your school is Italian. And as you said, first year you go and you study in English, but then you have to learn.
Yeah, you have to learn Italian, and maybe someone who's going to see this interview will wonder, but why have I to study Italian? Why must I study Italian? Of course, if you speak English, it's good, no matter with this. But if we talk about design and fashion, Italian is maybe the second language, because as you probably know, the made in Italy, when you talk about made in Italy, we talk about design, fashion, textile, and most of the most important companies working in this sector, in the design world and in the fashion world, are located here. So it's good to know English, okay? But I think if you want to practice design or fashion design, it's not bad. Let's put it this way. It's not bad to know Italian. Apart from the fact that you learn a language, you can go deeper in a culture, you can read in another language. I think it's a form of enrichment, personal enrichment, the knowledge of further language. Okay.
And excellent is also a great benefit while you're studying. You just learn the second language, which you can use later on job market, even if you will not in the field of visual arts. It's something which stays with you as a craft you master. Alessandro, maybe my final question, because you took all my questions even without asking.
Sorry, I didn't want to steal you. Okay.
Students those days are everything, they say, on double click of the mouse. You can just go on Google and you find any school everywhere, any accommodation, any education, whatever you want in 2 clicks.
Right, yeah.
Why should anyone really just give it a thought and say, okay, Alessandro said something different. They will teach me something what they never teach me anywhere else. Why? What is the one thing to consider Syracuse and your fine arts academy?
Question. I do, and I didn't prepare myself, but I think, why should a student come here? At least I think for a couple of reasons. The first one is that we are a peripheric place, and paradoxically, peripheric places are the best places to study, because you can concentrate on the thing that you have to do during 1 year. If you study for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, the time you have to study. And, just, by the way, if you think about some of the best universities worldwide, even very well known in UK, in US, you find out that it's not a case that they were founded in very peripheric places, very lost places in a way. There are very important universities in UK, in US, in the Ivy League that are in, I would say, in lost places. There is just a university. Here you can find a similar place, because we are in a small place and a beautiful place, but you can get a car and you can go, you can find whatever you want in terms of art, nature. We have mountains, we have sea, we have lakes, we have everything. And this is about the place. As for the, for the teaching, I think, it's a reason, a twofold reason. The first reason is that we have a multinational faculty at, sorry, I do not want to be too much but at a reasonable price. We have one of the reasons why I moved here from the very important museum in Venice was not about money. It was about the project. The project is to build a very good school, yet affordable, accessible. I didn't want to build. I had the experience of US. I had the privilege to study first my postdoc at Columbia University, and then to teach in an excellent school, but it was really very, very, very expensive. So we have a very good faculty and a very committed faculty. All of the teachers that come here do it because of this reason, because they want, in a way, to contribute to make a strong project. The guiding word is project. And then Siracusa is, in a way, an open workshop. When I say open workshop, I mean that many of the things that you hear about or you read about in terms of contemporary problems, in terms of contemporary, not problems, issues, you can find them here. It's a problematic, I would say, place here, but you're not working on, just in theory. Here you can practice what you study every day. If you are an artist or a designer or a fashion designer, I would say if you are an artist, if you are, how can I say, a committed artist and, yes, a committed artist. If you want, in a way, to leave a sign in this world, okay? If you are, the right word maybe is activist, if you want to be an activist, okay? Not just reading books sitting on your chair and waiting that things happen.
Okay. Alessandro, it was lovely to listen to you. And I have at home 2 girls, one is 8 and another one is 7. And you convinced me, and I would send them to Syracuse immediately for the university degree, but I have to wait for another 10 years.
Okay.
So hopefully you will be there still in 10 years' time, and you will bring the school to completely different level, even from now. And so hopefully in 10 years, I'll see you there with my two small girls. That time they will be 18, to start one of the study programs in visual arts, in design, in fashion design, or animation, or whatever subject you will add throughout the future. Alessandro, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Roman, and
Let's stay in
see
touch.
you soon and to meet you soon.